our business flip-flopped almost overnight.
Never in a million years did I ever think that I was going to be serving beer outside when it's 10 degrees outside.
That was never the business plan. It was adapt or die situation.
It sped up the process of what was eventually going to happen anyways, of ordering online and more to-go beer.
Okay, so it's an off day here. You guys are not open. We are at Wake Brewing. I'm here with Jason and Justin, and I mean, I don't even know how to ask this question because I'm sure it's a question you're tired of answering, but I guess it's a good place to start the interview. How have things been going, all things considered?
Surprisingly, I mean, pretty good. Pretty good. People have been pretty understanding, and you know, we've kind of rolled with the punches and just kind of been chugging along.
A lot of really good support from our patrons and local people.
I knew that a ton of thought went into the brewery, where the location was. I mean, you guys have thought about everything when you put together the plan to open this place back in 2017. So much thought goes into something like this, an endeavor like this. Do you ever in your wildest dreams even think of something that would shut down traffic for months and months and months? I mean,
I've had some pretty wild dreams.
Yeah.
But,
Right, yeah, that's
none like this. I mean, virtually it just changed the whole business plan overnight on how we had to just adapt and grow very quickly to keep moving along.
so what sort of, you're talking about what you had to do to adapt. Obviously there are physical changes here on site that I want to ask you about, but just what other sort of adaptations have you made to make sure that you're able to keep the lights on and the beer flowing?
Initially, obviously, since we were closed for indoor seating, and outdoor during the spring and summertime was fine. You know, people want to sit outside most of the time anyway, but when we started getting into the fall, winter months, it got a little more difficult, so we had to get creative and offer a lot of to-go options, which helped a lot, but doing special releases for to-goes, it definitely helped draw in people to come in and give them a reason to be here other than just our regulars for the most part. But
yeah,
it
went from virtually 90% in-house, 10% to go, to 90% to go, 99% to go. Right. Besides the 1% that we were drinking after hours.
So did that kind of escalate your to-go plans? Like, would you have been pushing that much beer out?
Absolutely not.
That was never the business plan. It was adapt or die situation.
Right. And you let the beer walk out of here when people are purchasing the beer to take home. You lose some control over the experience. Obviously, it's not like you had a choice, but was that something that you kind of worried about?
Yeah, I mean, that was our biggest reason why we focused so little on package to go, just for the handling. We wanted the experience at Wake to be, us handling it, curating the whole experience, describing the beer, making sure that you were getting the full vibe of what we were trying to create with the beer, and not just a beer and a pint. And when you hand them a package and they go out the door, you just leave it up to, it's kind of we looked at it in a way to make it happen as almost like a band, and started pushing really hard to make sure our labels were looking great. All of our social media was tied in together, so we just had to overnight switch how we sold it to somebody, and gave them the experience so they could take it home.
You mentioned the support that you've gotten from the community and from, for lack of a better, they're not really consumers here, they're fans. That seems like that's something that you guys really want to make sure that you've created an experience, and they are consumers, but also they're into everything
family,
that you're doing
fans,
here. Right.
Part of the cult.
Do you feel like people went out of their way to make sure they came and bought?
Absolutely.
I do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it showed, and it was, I really appreciate it very much. Very much. But it was cool, and by us, releasing these specialty beers that normally we wouldn't probably put in cans, but we decided to make labels for them and do really cool things for these people so that they could still get these products.
It makes you just rethink everything, where it had to be the meat and potatoes, and just really elevate ourselves. But in turn, it made us really rethink a lot of things. Where our outside seating is going to be, quadrupled, expanded from here on out, because when we were stuck with just outside seating, we turned our front parking lot into outside seating, and now I can't imagine ever being without that.
Right.
Because it looked great, the vibe was great. People, whether it was social distanced or not, the feel was something we would have never done without being forced to do it, and now I can never unsee it.
Well, listen, we're excited for the time that, this is a long ago memory, and we can say how crazy it was back when it was going on. But in the meantime, we can still come here and drink, right? You can
Absolutely.
still. And what's the rule? Like, if there's nowhere to sit, that means you're at capacity.
Basically, try to keep it nice and clean.
I imagine for the most part, people have been cool about
absolutely.
that. Yeah.
And everyone has been. Everyone's understanding. We all want to find normalcy again.
Wake Brewing, can't thank you guys enough.